Hello, my name is Matthias and welcome to the FPL Scope and the FPL eye test, where we take a look at this past weekend's Premier League matches from an FPL perspective. I just finished watching West Ham against Brentford and I have a lot of thoughts about that game as a West Ham fan. That's one of the worst performances I've seen, but since we're not supposed to swear at the start of videos, I'm going to save that for the final parts of this video. So let's start with the most important game this past game week, and that was between Liverpool and Man United. And it was another loss for Liverpool, another late loss for Liverpool, and this time against their bitter rivals at home at Anfield. So no things are going that well. Nothing is going that well, I guess, for Liverpool. Even worse than my English. Currently, at the moment, Man United managed to get a win here, and not deserved if you look at the expected goals there. Liverpool had several major chances to score, but the post was just way too much in the way of helping Man United rather than Liverpool in this game. Because Gakpo, I think he hit the post 3 times, really close to having a major hole in this game. And honestly, Gakpo is the one player that was a real standout to me from Liverpool in this game, and seems like the best asset to have from that team. So he's someone that I am considering myself for this next game week and beyond, because he looks quite nailed. He's the only proper left winger at Liverpool, and he keeps getting pretty big chances, and he scored as well. So yeah, he just looks like a pretty good option in general. But apart from him, Liverpool still struggling. Salah had another major chance missed. He's at least getting some chances now later on in the season, but his points have gone away basically. He's been better in terms of getting chances, but he's been worse in terms of production. I think his confidence, as well as Liverpool's confidence in total now, is just a bit down. And he was also subbed off pretty early, or not early, but he was subbed off before the 90th minute, which is pretty strange considering they were trying to chase a lead in this game and a win in this game. So yeah, not the best signs if you have Salah. I think downgrading to Gakpo if you want to stay in the Liverpool team is probably a good idea, and then you can save that money for someone else, or go to Saka, for example, if you don't have him. So I think Salah, the time is now to remove him, because this was his favorite fixture back in the day. But even here, he couldn't really do much. So yeah, Liverpool in general just struggling. Isak didn't really do much. He had one pretty big chance that was hit straight at the goalkeeper from Man United, Sen Lamens, who once again had another good game for them. But yeah, I think Salah is kind of done as an asset. Isak isn't really looking too much better as well. Ekitike came on and he looked a lot better than Isak, so I think he should start. He's probably going to start against Frankfurt in the midweek in the Champions League, his former team. And if he impresses there, I think he should start in the next league game as well. So I wouldn't really be too confident in Isak either. So yeah, I think Gakpo is the one going forward from Liverpool to go for. When it comes to Man United though, they had some other really good assets in this game as well. And Mbeumo, who I have in my team, he really helped me get a green arrow this game week. You can see my game week rank there, or my overall rank I should say, 49k. Super happy with that. And part of that, or at least the green arrow for this game week, the 8th in a row for me, or 7th in a row for me, is due to Mbeumo's goal and 9 points in this game. So fantastic from him. Scored pretty early in this game. Was pretty good in general in this match. Bruno Fernandes, I think, was another standout. If you kept him, despite a lot of people sort of abandoning ship with him now, kudos to you, because he was really good in this game. He had a good shooting chance that was almost a goal, and he also had the assist for the winning goal for Maguire and got 3 bonus points from that. So he was also looking really good. Maguire, DEFCON points, the goal that he scored as well, really nice from him, and secured Man United's 2nd win in a row. So they're on their way to 5 wins in a row potentially now, and helping that guy cut his hair if so be. But yeah, that's pretty much it from this game. Liverpool, so many chances, couldn't really convert them, and Man United managed to get the win in the end. Another huge result for Man United, and another huge downfall for Liverpool, who are looking worse and worse by the minute in this season. Next up, we have the match between Man City and Everton, and this is more the type of team that is looking like a title contender currently in Man City. Their trajectory is going up, and Liverpool's trajectory is going down, and Arsenal are just still up there as the #1 title contender currently. But Man City are also really good. They could have conceded pretty early in this game though, because Everton, especially Iliman Ndiaye, this is probably what I should have led this match report with. It's not really that common to see someone other than Haaland being the man of the match, or the best player on the pitch when Haaland scores twice. But Iliman Ndiaye in this game was just absolutely fantastic. What a player is my main takeaway there, because he looked tremendous. He had a shot that was really nicely saved by Donnarumma. He had several passes to Beto, where Beto should have scored. It was just incredible all in all in this game. Skilliman Ndiaye, as people like to call him. He is just a joy to watch, and he's on penalties. He gets DEFCON points, as you can see there, 17 defensive contributions in this game. He had 11 defensive contributions in the first half alone, so he is just an outstanding player and a really good pick, I think, in general in FPL. He was the standout for Everton in this game, but this game was mostly about Man City, and once again, Erling Haaland, who just keeps scoring goals every single game. First goal was really nice, like he is going forward. There's a cross coming in from Nico O'Reilly, I think, and while all the Everton defenders are rushing towards their own goal, Haaland sort of stops and gets room for himself and just headers it in quite easily. Then he has another really nice shot in the box as well. I don't really know why he only got 1.0 XG from this game, because he had two major chances after scoring the 2 goals as well. He easily could have had a hat-trick. He could have had 4 goals in this game, so he was fantastic. So Man City going forward, looking really nice. Foden had a nice pass for him. Reinders had a nice pass to Doku, who missed a pretty big chance. And also Haaland had those 2 chances at the end as well. Cherki came on for Man City, looked amazing. So him coming back, Marmoush coming back, they're looking stronger and stronger offensively. Defensively, we'll have to see. Aït-Nouri is still not back. He's going to be back pretty soon, and he's more of an offensive player anyways. But they still keep getting clean sheets because Donnarumma has been fantastic in goal for them, and Haaland has been fantastic up front. So they have a really nice future in this season, I think, Man City. I think it's going to be between them and Arsenal for this season. I think it's going to be pretty similar to like the 2 seasons prior to the last one, where Man City and Arsenal are right up there fighting for the title. But I think this time Arsenal will actually hold off from City after building a quite good lead. I think that's going to be my prediction for this season. I have predicted Arsenal to win the season once again, and I think this might be it. But Man City are going to be a huge contender as always, because they are just a really good team and they have so many good offensive players in general. So yeah, Ndiaye was the major standout from Everton. DEFCON points also for Tarkowski and Garner as usual, because they're really good at that as well. Garner had also like a decent enough chance. I think Everton also kind of hard done by on the XG here. I think they had some really good chances to score here, and they could have easily taken the lead, which would have made this a completely different game. I think that's the thing with Man City. If they concede first, it's going to be more of a struggle. But when they score the first goal, it's going to be easier to win. And also, of course, Everton were without Jack Grealish. He is loaned out from City, so he couldn't play against his parent club, basically. So yeah, that also hampers Everton's skills going forward, but Iliman Ndiaye really made up for it by being an outstanding player in this game. So he's someone that I would definitely pay attention to. Another piece of news that is should be known for Everton fans or people like FPL fans, FPL managers looking for a leg up in this game. Jared Brentford is going to be out for a bit longer now with his injury. I think he needed an operation now. He's been struggling with injuries all of this season so far, and Michael Keane has played in his place. And usually that's not good, and that hasn't really been good for Everton defensively in like the last 3 seasons. I think 3 seasons ago, Keane was the centre back for Everton, and they struggled defensively. Then Branthwaite came in, and they were good defensively. Then last season, he was injured to start the season, Branthwaite, and then he came on, and they completely shifted their season defensively once he took over the place from Keane. But now I think they're going to struggle a bit more defensively. On the upside, though, Michael Keane is a lot cheaper. Branthwaite is 5.5. Tarkowski is 5.5 for good reason, because they get a lot of DEFCON points. But Keane also is pretty good when it comes to DEFCON, even though he didn't get it in this game. And he's also a pretty good goal threat as well. So he's actually a pretty decent option for 4.5. But I think Everton's fixtures are still not the best. They get really good from game week 18 onwards. And I'm not sure, maybe Branthwaite will be back at that point. But yeah, Keane is someone to take note of, at least going forward for Everton. And as is Iliman Ndiaye and Grealish when he comes back as well. They have some really good assets, Everton, but their strikers are still lacking. And that is basically what has kept them from getting even more points this season, because they've been really good, but with a proper striker, a proper number 9 who could score, they'd be even better, because Beto has not had a good season so far. Next up, we have the match between Nottingham Forest and Chelsea, the final match for Ange Postecoglou, maybe ever in the Premier League. Really hard done by, I think, in this game. I think Nottingham Forest were by far the best team to start this game, actually. They had several big chances, especially the one where I think it was Douglas Luiz heading it over to GW8, who had to basically do a diving volley that he hit over, but that was a major chance. He had another really big chance early on in the game as well, so they easily could have taken the lead in this game, and the game and Ange Postecoglou and Nottingham Forest's faith basically would have been completely different in this game. But Chelsea managed to stay away from conceding in this game somehow, because even in the second half, Nottingham Forest had some major chances that they missed. And yeah, as you can see from Nico Williams there, he is the one that missed the biggest chances in the second half, just completely on his own on the back post. But he is looking pretty attacking, pretty offensive, at least under Ange Postecoglou. But again, they'll have to change manager, and we have to change our perception of what Nottingham Forest is. And now it seems like Sean Dyche is going to come in and replace Ange, basically, who got sacked like 10 minutes after the game. The actual report, or the tweet, I guess, from Nottingham Forest that he was sacked came out like 18 or 20 minutes just about after the game had finished, which is kind of crazy. 39 days for Ange Postecoglou, which is not good, especially considering he had 8 games and 0 wins. But yeah, Nottingham Forest, just a club in complete disarray, and I don't really think they're going to be that much better, even with Sean Dyche, who has like this reputation of being like a good defensive guy who can keep them up. That could be the case, but at the same time, he wasn't good at Everton at all, so I'm not quite sure if he's going to be that good, even defensively, for Nottingham Forest. I think they are still a team you could potentially target, but Chelsea took advantage of this, not by anyone who is popular in FPL. Palmer is injured, Enzo Fernandez was out for this game. Caicedo also didn't play in this game. He also had a bit of a knock. And I think that affected them in the first half. But second half, they put Caicedo on. They made other changes to their team, and they looked like a much better team in the second half. Marguerite also came on, looked pretty good as a striker. He's getting more and more playing time for a really cheap price in FPL, 4.3. I think that's something worth noting. But for now, he hasn't started a game. But that could change, especially if he does well in the Champions League in midweek. He could be in line for a start pretty soon. Someone that is starting, though, for a really cheap price is Achampong, who scored the first goal for Chelsea. He is 3.9 in defense. He started 3 games so far this season, and he has like 5 bonus points, a goal, an assist, 2 or 3 clean sheets from those games. Like, he's been fantastic whenever he's gotten the chance to play. He's 3.9, so especially if you're on a wildcard, I think he is someone that you should definitely take note of and potentially just have in your squad ready. But there are a lot of good Chelsea assets, especially defensively. I think Chaluba, if you want someone safer in defense, who's a lot more expensive though, he's like 5.1, I think. He's probably another player to go for, but Cucurella is also a really good asset. You can see he got DEFCON points in this game. He is also super attacking and looks really good. And then you have Reece James also, who got an assist for the free kick goal from Neto, Pedro Neto, and also he got a goal towards the end as well from a corner. Really nice shot from Reece James, and just really nice to see him just play consistently now as well. I think this was his fourth start in a row in the Premier League for Chelsea, and he's just looking a lot better when it comes to fitness. He hasn't really been injured that much the past few seasons even, but especially now this season, he looks a lot better in terms of his physical stature and how he keeps fit, basically. So yeah, a team of unlikely scorers for Chelsea. Pedro Neto, Achampong, and Reece James. Don't really expect them to score goals usually, but they have some really good options. Of course, Enzo Fernandez might be back for the next game, and he's going to be a really good asset with Palmer out still for another couple of weeks. I think he's going to be back around that game week 13 potentially, game week 12 maybe at the earliest, Palmer. So I think Enzo is going to be a good pick at that point. Joao Pedro, another bad performance from him in terms of FPL. He doesn't get any shots off. He is just not like a natural striker. So yeah, he doesn't look as good anymore. He was really good at the start of the season, but he scored a lot of set piece goals, and I think that has sort of dried up a bit for Chelsea in general, but especially for Joao Pedro. So yeah, he just is not looking like the best possible option now, and there are so many good attacking options as we'll get to with this next game, because that is between Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, and there were 2 guys who scored a lot of points in this game, or scored a lot of goals in this game, one from Palace and one from Bournemouth. We have from Palace Jean-Philippe Mateta, who got a hat-trick. 2.91 non-penalty expected goal moment is crazy, especially with considering the fact that he had a penalty as well. Like, one of his goals was a penalty. He could have had like 5 or 6 goals in this game. Like, he was insane, was in the right positions to score all the time. Missed a couple big chances. He's just missed so many big chances. I think he has 15 big chances in total this season, which is 2 behind Haaland, which is like by far better than the next guy. I think the next guy is like 9 big chances or something like that so far this season. So Mateta is just... he keeps getting a lot of big chances for Palace, and now he's finally starting to convert some of them and got a hat-trick in this game. So fantastic for anyone that kept him. I saw some people that actually sold him this past game week, but now he's going to be the main striker everyone is going to want to bring into their team. Because we saw in this game, yes, Nketiah came on, but he didn't replace Mateta. He actually came on and played in those 2 positions behind Mateta. That can happen, and we've seen that in the past. I've seen that in a different game week where I had one of these FPL test reviews, where I did note that the fact that Mateta could still play even if Nketiah comes on. I think that's going to be the case sometimes. So Mateta, he is pretty good for minutes. He's going to play at least 60, 70 minutes, and he's going to play 90 minutes mostly in most games, and scored a hat-trick in this game. But for the other team, Bournemouth, they took the lead 2-0 here. Both goals scored by Eli Jr. Krupi, or Krupi Jr. He is looking amazing. Evan Nilsson has played like the first 7 games of the season and scored like 22 FPL points, I think. And then Krupi Jr. now has come on in some of the games and started this game and is like on 21 FPL points so far already with 2 goals in this game. So fantastic from him. A bit of controversy when it comes to FPL. Semenyo touched the ball before it went to Krupi Jr. I think, like, honestly, by the rules that they've set out in FPL, it should probably be an assist because he touches the ball, and yes, it hits a defender in Mark Gahey, but it goes to Krupi Jr. like directly after that, and Krupi Jr. scores. So that should be an assist. According to the rules in FPL, they say that even an inadvertent touch is counting as an assist. So I don't really know how they differentiate between that and, for example, the goal that Aston Villa scored a couple of games back when the ball hit Morgan Rogers in his hand, and he got an assist for that touch, but Semenyo doesn't get an assist for this touch. But again, like I said in a previous video as well, I don't really care that much. Like it is just like it would have been a super lucky assist anyway, so I don't think Semenyo really deserved any points from that. He was just really lucky to touch the ball and didn't really do much to contribute to the goal. It was mostly just Guehi with a really bad touch, and Krupi Jr. just being at the line there and being able to score from a really close angle, which means that he got a lot of XG from that. Because the second goal was much better from Krupi Jr. And once again, it was sort of Semenyo setting it up, and this time more like on purpose with him going up the left wing, passing it into the box. Bad clearance again from Guehi, who had a bit of a stinker, honestly, early in this game, even though he won the penalty in the end for Palace. But yeah, the ball ended up with Krupi Jr., who really took his chance beautifully. I turned British a little bit there, and scored another goal for Bournemouth. Then Palace just turned it around, scored 2 goals with Mateta. Munoz, again, like he has been feeding Mateta this whole season and kept doing it this game as well. 2 assists for Munoz, so he looks like a really good option as well. Also got DEFCON points once again. Richards also got DEFCON points there with 15 defensive contributions from him. So a lot of points to go around here in general. But then Bournemouth again took the lead with a 3-2 goal from Christie. And then Mateta scored a penalty in the end, won by Guehi, which was like, it looked a bit like, I don't know, iffy, that penalty. It looked a bit soft. But anyways, Palace got the penalty. Mateta converted it, and he got a major hat-trick and 17 points there in this game. So fantastic game from Mateta. Ismail Assar, who I brought in for this game week, didn't really do much at all. Semenyo got 1 assist and 4 points. So yeah, I'm not too happy to see only 6 points in total from my 2 attacking players from each of these teams. But it was just a really high-scoring game, and the ball just wouldn't fall for them. It fell for Mateta and Krupi Jr. instead, so that's just something that happens sometimes. Also with Bournemouth, Senesi, fantastic when it comes to defensive contributions once again. Adams, the same, and Diakite also managed to get the defensive contributions. But yeah, I think Krupi Jr., he might be able to start next game as well, because Evan Nilsson has a bit of a hamstring issue, and I think that's going to take a couple weeks, probably. That's usually what happens with the hamstring injuries, and especially with how Krupi Jr. is looking. I think he looks like a really good asset in general. Kind of wanted to make this comparison as well. Like a couple years ago, there was a 4.5 striker in FPL called Antoine Semenyo, and he turned out to be an amazing player eventually in FPL. He is just fantastic, just keeps getting points in every game, and he's like one of the best players in the Premier League now. And I'm not saying that same thing is going to happen with Krupi Jr., but I think Bournemouth are just really good at identifying really good talents and bringing them in. And I think Krupi Jr. is going to be a really good asset in general. So he's another one of these like really cheap forwards, so it could be really nice to have going forward. So yeah, he's also someone that you should pay attention to. I've seen some people look at potentially selling Gyökeres to Krupi Jr. and upgrading Reinders to Saka, and I think that sort of makes sense currently. Because Reinders, again, was subbed off earlier. Didn't mention that in the City game. And Krupi Jr. is looking pretty good. And he might even take over the number 1 spot as a striker for Bournemouth over Evan Nilsson. Because I think, honestly, Evan Nilsson has been a bit overrated a little while now. He misses quite a few chances and doesn't really get too many chances. But he does a good job as well for Bournemouth, don't get me wrong. But I think Krupi Jr. just showed that you can actually score a couple goals as a striker for Bournemouth. It's not impossible like it has seemed a bit under Evan Nilsson. So yeah, the next big thing there, Krupi Jr. and Mateta, already a big thing for Palace. He's just fantastic. I think Palace are a really good team in general. 4.44 XG in total is absolutely crazy against Bournemouth, who really I think they had 4.44 expected goals against in the first 4 or 5 games this season, apart from the Liverpool game. So yeah, that's just really impressive by Palace going forward. They have really unlocked something without Eze and all the other players that they've lost the last few seasons, they just keep finding ways to be good attacking wise. So yeah, really a nice team to target in general, especially after Game Week 9. Game Week 9, they have Arsenal away, which is the toughest game for any attacker this season. But from Game Week 10 onwards, they have just fantastic matches for a long while. And I'm looking to triple up with Mateta, Munoz, and Ismail Assar myself. So yeah, really solid team. Semenyo, of course, fantastic for Bournemouth. Senesi always gets DEFCON points as well, but they do keep conceding goals now. So not sure if he's the best asset for a high price, but maybe they'll find back their groove defensively and be better defensively. But yeah, they are just two really good teams, I think, in general in this game, and they both went for it. Really attacking and fun game to watch. And yeah, a lot of points to go around in FPL as well. Next up, we have a couple more matches. Brighton against Newcastle, and Brighton just keep looking really good at home at the Amex Stadium, beating Newcastle 2-1 in this game. You can see Newcastle winning the XG battle, but Brighton won the battle that matters, and that's the scoreline, 2-1 for Brighton. Two really nice goals from Welbeck. He is back and looking really nice. Really good finish for the first goal. Really solid finish for the second goal as well. I think he maybe hit someone as they went into the goal. And the goal from Newcastle was once again Woltemade, who scored in his fourth straight Premier League start for Newcastle. So he looks like a really good option. Fulham at home and West Ham at home in their next two matches now, Newcastle. He is definitely someone you should look at potentially if you have the likes of Gyökeres, Joe Pedro, Bowen, who you are upset with. Like maybe you want to do a transfer like that. I wouldn't be too against it because Woltemade looks really good at the moment for Newcastle. Someone else that looks good for Newcastle, I think, is Bruno Guimaraes. He's had a lot of good chances lately. He's scored against Nottingham Forest, and he's been like super involved offensively in general for Newcastle. I've been pretty surprised to see that. I don't even know his price in FPL, but he is someone that could potentially get some goals going forward. I think he's looked really good for Newcastle in general. Obviously, he's a great player, but offensively and as an FPL asset now as well, he could be a good asset. But yeah, for now, there are so many other good midfielders you want to go for, so maybe not, but it's something to take note of, I think, with Newcastle. Minte, once again, also looked good for Brighton, had a couple good moments against his former club. I think he is one of the biggest regrets for Newcastle. Him and Elliot Anderson, they sort of had to sell with the ESR rules and all that stuff. But he looked good again in this game, but didn't get any points, which is usually what happens with him. But Welbeck was the main guy for Brighton. Jorginho Rutter also playing in the number 10 role, which is more suited for him, and Welbeck on front. I think that worked out really well for Brighton, who managed to win this game despite Newcastle scoring and trying to make it hard for them in the end there. Dan Burn also, nice to see him get back into the DEFCON points here. He was pretty far away from that when he played as a left back and didn't really... he got an assist last time, but yeah, he got DEFCON points this game. But for once, Newcastle actually conceded. But again, I don't think that's too surprising. Brighton always score in their games, and they always concede, and that happened again in this game, and they managed to get a 2-1 win. So congratulations to Brighton for a nice fought win there in this match. Fulham against Arsenal. This was one of the earlier games of the game week, and Arsenal just once again, as I've written there in the main takeaway, same old Arsenal. They are defending fantastically well. Don't really give away too many chances at all. Fulham, I don't think they had like a shot on target even in this game. They had a couple like decent chances at the start. They had like some pretty good early minutes, but then after that it just fizzled out, and Arsenal pretty much just were in control most of the game, and got the win in the end with 1-0 in this game. In total, the major thing for Fulham is the fact that Joachim Andersen had to be subbed off with an injury pretty early on. Switching off Joachim Andersen to Issa Diop is like maybe an even bigger downgrade from Brentford to Keane with Everton, because Issa Diop is just not good. West Ham had a lot of bad centre backs throughout the years, and Issa Diop is among the worst of them, which is saying something. But yeah, anyways, Arsenal just being super solid. Saka being really good as well. Got 12 DEFCON defensive contributions in this game and DEFCON points. He also got bonus points just because he had a good game. Had several dribbles, had several chances created, several big chances created as well, Saka. He was fantastic in this game and shows why he is such a good asset. He's still on penalties, we assume. He should have had a penalty in this game. I don't know why they overturned it, especially with VAR when they had given the penalty at first, first viewing from the referee. He gave the penalty, and they thought it was clear and obvious enough to change it to a non-penalty. Yes, Kevin, the Fulham midfielder who made a tackle in his own box, he did touch the ball, but he also touched Saka before he touched the ball. So I don't really get the rules. I don't really get how they are using VAR or like VAR in general. I'm a big VAR hater if you have seen my videos of this in the past. Yeah, it just sort of baffles me. It would have been nice to see who would have taken the penalty between Saka and Gyökeres, because I think Gyökeres really needs a goal now. Saka took the last one when it was like his 200th game, and he could have had his 100th goal contribution or something like that. But I think Gyökeres could have been able to take this because he needs the confidence. Because he's doing a lot of good things. He had 2 decent-ish chances in this game. He's stretching the lines. He's working hard. He's pressing really well. But the thing that he has been brought in for to score goals, he hasn't really done now in, I think, 9 straight games for club and country. He hasn't scored a goal. So he's struggling for goals. I think maybe he'll get a penalty for that. If Arsenal win a penalty, maybe he'll take it. But it might also still be Saka, who looks tremendous outside of that as well. Creating chances, having some nice chances on his own, and getting points even without goals and assists. So Saka is looking like a really good option for Arsenal. Eze was subbed off early in this game as well, so I think he's sort of like dead as an asset because he just gets subbed off early. He still needs time to get acquainted with the Arsenal squad, I guess. Even without Madueke and Ødegaard in the squad, he doesn't play 90 minutes, which is a bit worrying if you are looking to play Eze or have Eze in your team. I don't think it's worth it. I think there are much better Arsenal assets considering you have Timber, Gabriel. Gabriel also got the assist in this game, 12 points. He's just fantastic. Timber has been fantastic. Calafiori has been really good. Had a goal disallowed, which was really, really nice. Just like barely offside as well. So he's also a really good option. And of course, Saka and potentially even Gyökeres could be a good option. So I think Eze kind of not really worth it as a pick since he's getting subbed off early every game, it seems like. So Saka for a little bit more is just worth the price, I think, for now. So yeah, Arsenal once again getting the win. Fulham, bit concerning with Anderson's injury, also with their strikers. They're struggling both up front and in defense. So I think them playing against Newcastle away at the St. James's Park, that could be a great game for Newcastle in terms of scoring goals and keeping a clean sheet. So I think they have some really good options for next game week in Game Week 9 if you're looking to do some transfers there. Next up, we have Burnley against Leeds. And again, this is why you see results sometimes and you have to sort of laugh at it because, 2-0 for Burnley, 0 goals for Leeds. And when you look at the XG, 0.45 for Burnley and 2.63 from Leeds. But again, I keep saying that. You also have to credit Burnley because both their goals were really, really nice goals. The first goal was Kyle Walker with a tremendous cross. Like, he's not known for his crossing abilities. That's like not one of the reasons why people bring him up as the best right back of all time, potentially in the Premier League. That's usually his speed and his defensive capabilities. But his cross for Ugo Chukwu was absolutely on the money, fantastic, and Ugo Chukwu scored from that, and that was deserved for a goal from Burnley. And then the second goal was just Chauna with a fantastic strike. Like, this is like one of the cleanest hits I've seen for a while, at least in the Premier League. Just a tremendous strike, and the ball hits the back of the net, and 2-0 for Burnley. They really should have conceded in this game, but Dubravka had a couple of really nice saves, got some nice points for me in FPL as well. I'm not complaining at all. But Leeds are probably complaining a bit that they didn't score a goal in this game because, again, they created several chances, and this time it wasn't just Calvert-Lewin who missed chances. He didn't really have that many chances in this game. It was just a lot of other players from Leeds missing pretty clear-cut chances. Bogle in the end as well had a major chance to score but didn't manage to do that. So Leeds creating a lot of chances, but they are also struggling a bit to convert them. That has been a bugaboo for them. But defensively, they still look good. 0.45 just took 2 really good involvements from Walker and Chauna to get 2 goals for Burnley here. But Burnley, again, just showing against like the weaker teams at home, they can actually be pretty good, but they are still a team to target. In general, I feel like Burnley. But they managed to get the win here with 2-0 against Leeds. Sunderland against Wolves. Sunderland also a pretty good home team. I think all these newly promoted teams are really good at home in general. So when they play at home, especially against weaker teams, they are teams to actually go for in terms of free hits and in terms of bench boost. If you're looking at doing that, I know a lot of people bench boosted with Sunderland defenders, especially if you had Mukiele. That was a fantastic decision because he got 17 points. An even better decision would obviously be to start him because he scored a really nice like open play goal. It wasn't even a set piece or anything like that. He just got the ball, passed it to a teammate. I think it was Hume actually. Got it back and scored a really nice goal for Sunderland. Hume also scored the second goal, so he is fantastic as a pick as well. Ballard getting 10 defense contributions again. Mukiele getting the defense contributions again. But Ballard also, like, being in the box so many times, had like 2 chances in the box as a centre back. Like, they have so many good defensive assets, Sunderland. It's just a shame that this was their final easy match before a long run of really bad games now for Sunderland. So I don't think Sunderland assets are that good for that reason, but they have some really nice assets in general for a really cheap price. Like, you can just have on the bench and have just in case of emergency, you can play them, but they have really tough matches. So I'm not sure if I would go for any of them in general, at least like making a point to bring them in. But Mukiele, looking fantastic, getting difficult points every game, scored a really nice open play goal, like I mentioned. He's a threat to score from set pieces as well, so he is just a really good pick for 4.0, so he's someone that I would definitely consider. Alderete is also obviously a really good pick for 4.1. Ballard is 4.5, he's good. Hume is 4.5, I think, as well. He's also good, involved offensively. So defensively, they have some really good options. Robin Roofs as well, another clean sheet for him. He keeps being the highest scoring goalkeeper in this FPL season, so defensively, they have some really good assets. Shaka, once again, with DEFCON points. He's just pretty much nailed for DEFCON points, it seems like, at this point. So they have some really nice options, even though they don't have the best fixtures. Wolves don't really have that many good options. Strand Larsen maybe, potentially, but like they can't really score in any game. They have Burnley at home next game. That could be the final chance for Wolves to show that they have any kind of worth in FPL. But yeah, I wouldn't really trust Wolves. They look really bad. Lackluster yet again. Didn't really have any chances in this game. Had a couple nice shooting chances. Menetzi still looking good for them, but not really good as an FPL asset. So Wolves, I'm just really low on in general. I think that's a team to target. So, but sadly, next game week, if you're looking to target Wolves or looking to target Burnley, they're facing each other, and it's kind of hard to gauge who to go for from those two teams, with Wolves playing at home against Burnley as well. But yeah, Wolves not looking good at all this season. I think they are one of the main candidates to go down, especially seeing how good the other newly promoted teams are. And I'm kind of happy to see them all in the same graphic here, or I can talk a little bit about all three of the teams. But Burnley showing some mettle, showing some worth in this league. Winning 2-0 against Leeds. Leeds have been really solid in general and had another solid performance, but they were just a bit unlucky with some really nice performances from some Burnley players. And Sunderland at home just keep looking really good at the Stadium of Light. That's also something to take note of. And Wolves might be the next team to go down, because all these three newly promoted teams are looking so good currently at the moment. We'll get to a team that doesn't look as good in the final game, but first we're going to talk about Spurs against Aston Villa. A really low scoring game in terms of expected goals. 0.75 for Spurs, 0.32 for Aston Villa, barely cracking the 1 expected goal in total. But in terms of actual goals, it was 3 goals, 2 for Aston Villa and 1 for Spurs. The first goal for Aston Villa was Morgan Rogers, who a lot of people have sold, including me. I sold him this game week, and he managed to score like a banger of a goal, a really nice shot. But I also have to question Vicario in goal for Spurs there a bit, because he's been really good so far this season, in my opinion. But this sort of showed his weakness. He was just completely misplaced for the shot for Rogers. Rogers sees that, has an open goal to shoot at, and delivers a really nice shot for Aston Villa, giving them the lead in this game. Palhinha scored, or was it the lead, or was it the draw? That was actually the equalizer. The first goal was for Spurs. Palhinha scoring. Really nice cross from Kudus. I have to give the devil his due sometimes. Really nice cross from Kudus to Palhinha, and then Bentancur score, I think. That's how it went, actually. So Palhinha scored, got DEFCON points. Another player that got DEFCON points was Danso, who is the player that replaced Romero when Romero couldn't play to start the game. I think in the warm-ups, he sort of had to throw in the towel, and Danso came in. And this is something that I've talked about preseason as well. Like, whenever Romero or Van de Ven gets injured, that is when Danso is going to be a good option, because he is going to be the starter. He actually played really well, was really good in this game in general, and got 10 defensive contributions in this game. But he's 4.3, and he's a really good DEFCON player. Like, we've seen Romero and Van de Ven be a bit better when it comes to DEFCON with Thomas Frank as a manager. And I think Danso, he was already a good DEFCON player last season under Ange Postecoglou, which is kind of crazy to do, because he is not a good DEFCON manager. So Danso is someone that is really worth taking note of, especially if Romero is out for longer once Tottenham's fixtures get better again, because they have some really tough fixtures coming on. But yeah, he was good. Palhinha helped getting the goal for Spurs, but then Rogers scored, and then Buendia scored in the second half as well. 0.32 expected goals from Aston Villa and 2 goals. They managed to get the win here, but again, they're not really creating much going forward. So I think they are not the worst team to face, not the easiest team to face, of course. They have some really nice players who can score goals. We saw that with Rogers and Buendia in this game. But if you look at the expected goals here, in the top 3 of non-penalty expected goals, we have all the agents. 008 for Watkins, 007 for Buendia, and 006 for Cash. But it was enough to get the job done in this game with 2-1 for Aston Villa, creating something from nothing against Spurs, who were down with one defender in Romero not being able to play the game, and Danso coming in and being a nice option going forward. Also have to mention Odebear, the best non-penalty expected goal moment guy for Spurs. He had some pretty good chances. I think he's been really good and impressive on the left wing for Spurs. And once again, I think Richarlison was also benched with Mattis Tell playing up front. So that is basically what's going to happen for Champions League weeks. It seems like they're going to start Tell and they're going to start Richarlison in the Champions League. So rotation is not the best for Spurs in their Champions League efforts, basically. Thomas Frank left Brentford, and we all thought Brentford were going to struggle, especially with Mbeumo leaving, Wissa leaving as well. Not really replacing them too much either. But the ready-made replacement at Brentford was the player that they brought in before last season when he was injured the whole season, and that was Igor Thiago, who is looking amazing. He looked really good in this game, had 2 goals. Really should have had 2 goals in this game. The first goal was allowed in the 43rd minute, and then right at the end of the first half, in 6 minutes of injury time, he scores another goal. But then VAR intervenes and sort of ruins all the fun for, especially any Brentford fan. For me as a West Ham fan, I was happy to see it. But Igor Thiago, his studs were offside, basically, running backwards to collect the ball, and it has nothing to do with football. This is why I don't really like VAR. Yes, it is technically the correct decision. It is offside. Offside is offside, all that crap. But honestly, if we didn't have VAR, this goal would have stood and nobody would have batted an eye from it, because it was just he didn't take advantage of his offside position, and it just is against the spirit of the game. Of course, you have to do, when you have VAR, you have to just basically take away the goal, because it is factually the right decision, but it just sort of ruins the game in general. Not for me as a West Ham fan, but in any other case, as a neutral or as a Brentford fan, I'd be pretty unhappy with that, because it was a really nice goal from Igor Thiago, and he really deserved 2 goals in this game, because Brentford were just way better than West Ham. And I think I sort of have to make 2 adjustments. I have to give more respect to Brentford. I didn't really expect much from them away from home, because so far they've lost to Nottingham Forest, Fulham, and Nottingham Forest, Fulham, and Sunderland away from home. So I did not expect much from them as an away team, but they did face the worst home team in the league, and that is West Ham. And this is as a West Ham fan, I've seen a lot of bad performances throughout the years, but this might be, it's top 3 for sure. It might be the worst that I've ever seen. I don't know what the hell Nuno Espirito Santo is thinking with this lineup in general. Playing Andy Irving in midfield, I don't even know who Andy Irving is. I don't know where he came from. All of a sudden, he's a Scottish midfielder. He played for some Austria Klagenfurt team I never heard of, and he's at West Ham at the age of 25 for some reason. I don't know why, but he started in midfield with both Magassa and Potts, the newly signed midfielder this summer, and also the West Ham wonder kid, not wonder kid, but good boy, I guess, midfielder. I don't really know, but that's not the worst thing. But the worst part about the lineup is just the fullbacks. El Hadji Malik Diouf, who's been fantastic, been West Ham's best player by far so far this season, he was benched, and they started Walker Peters and Ollie Scarles, and I figured, okay, fair enough, I guess. He has been an international break. West Ham play Monday and Friday. Maybe he needs a rest. So sure, give Scarles a chance, I guess, even though this is the first home game for Nuno in a winnable game as well, I would expect, at least before the game. But still, okay, I'll give Ollie Scarles a chance as left back, and I'll give Walker Peters, he's a good right back, so that's going to work out. And then Walker Peters plays left back, a right-footed right back plays at left back, and then Ollie Scarles, a left-footed left back, plays at right back. And I'm just confused, what's happening with West Ham? It made no sense. They had no striker. Again, Marshall was on the bench, Wilson was on the bench, stayed on the bench for the whole game. No striker. I think Paquetá played sort of false 9. Bowen sort of played false 9-ish. Summerville, Souček, I don't know. I'm just completely confused by West Ham in this game in general. In a winnable game where I had a lot of faith in West Ham potentially turning it a bit around now with Nuno Espirito Santo, who's someone that I have respected as a manager. But this, I don't know what to make of this in general. But yeah. Anyways, enough about West Ham. That's just a team to target in general. It's not a team to go for in terms of Bowen, and I had some nice points from Bowen and Diouf so far this season, but clearly can't be trusted. For what it's worth, I don't think Diouf is going to be benched ever again. He is just too good to be benched. But he didn't really look too good either in the second half coming on. I think he was a bit baffled and a bit out of it after being in the African Cup of Nations. Not African Cup of Nations, but being in Africa for the World Cup qualifiers this past week. But yeah, West Ham just looked a bit baffling in general. Brentford, however, looked a lot better. They looked really good in this game. Igor Thiago especially had so many chances. It was fully deserved when they took the lead. West Ham had, for what it's worth, they had the first 5 or 10 minutes, they actually looked a bit up for it. They had a really nice, the first 2 minutes actually, they had a really nice attack, or really nice combinations. It looked oh man, they are actually showing something at home this time. And then it all just crumbled, and Brentford completely took over the game. Deserved lead with Sade assisting Thiago, who had a really nice finish against Areola, who's another like goalkeeper, midfield, and striker has been, or defense as well. Like the whole thing, West Ham's whole team is just shambles. Anyways, Igor Thiago scored. He was fantastic. Scored another goal that was deemed offside. It was offside technically, but it is sort of against the spirit of the game in my opinion. But Brentford just kept chugging along, kept creating chances, kept being the better team. 2.31 XG for them, 0.33 XG from West Ham. Didn't really have much at all. Bowen, who I have as pick currently, and not for long probably. If this is what I should judge him on and West Ham on, he also could have scored actually right before the half. He had a really nice shot, his only like good involvement this game almost, which really forced a nice save from Kelleher. But as you can see, he's not even top 3 non-penalty expected goal moment when Summerville is 3rd on that list with 0.10. So yeah, it wasn't really the best chance, but he almost made the most of it and almost scored. So he was close at least, but yeah, not really the best option going forward either. Leeds away, I think Leeds are actually pretty good, especially at home, just like I mentioned now with the newly promoted teams. Newcastle at home at London Stadium, but West Ham at home are just awful. So yeah, I think that's going to be a tough game as well. And then Burnley at home after that, which is hopefully a good game for West Ham, but I might have sold Bowen already at that point. I'll give him the Leeds game just because I want Mateta, and he has a really terrible match in Game Week 9, but that will be the last chance for Bowen to stay in this team, because otherwise I'm probably going to sell Bowen and bring in Mateta in Game Week 10 myself. But yeah, Igor Thiago might also be a good option. I think especially from, I think Game Week 13, he's going to have good fixtures. He is a really like pretty cheap striker up front. He takes penalties. He looks really on it. He scored 5 goals, I think, so far. So he's actually a really good asset. I think Brentford in general look pretty good, but Igor Thiago is like the main asset by far for a really cheap price on penalties. People have warned about him preseason, but now he's actually looking good. Brentford looking better and better as the season goes along. I think they actually have something to offer this league, and I think they're going to stay up. And I can't really say the same for West Ham. But yeah, that's basically it. I've gone through every single game now in about 40 minutes. That's usually not how quickly I do it with these videos. They usually last for about an hour, but I had a lot to say, but I managed to get most of it out there, I think, in these games. And I was just rushing to get to the West Ham game anyway, because I wanted to just trash that performance, because that was one of the worst things I've seen from West Ham all time. And with that, I'm going to end the video. Thank you for watching. I hope it was of help to you. I'm going to keep doing these because I learn a lot myself from FPL and the Premier League and what I'm going to look for the next few game weeks. So I think it's fun to make these videos. I hope you have fun watching them. You can like the video if you liked it. You can subscribe if you've seen a couple of my videos and you want to be able to see more of them. I'm going to keep creating content every single week. And I'm doing pretty well for myself, as you can see from my rank there, 49k. Really happy with where I am. I still have my wildcard left to play. I made a video about when I'm going to play it. I'm probably going to try to save it until Game Week 15 at this point, which is going to be interesting to see. So yeah, if you like the sound of that, if you want to see that video as well, you can check that out. And with all that said, thank you for watching. I think that's all. Bye-bye. See you next time.